am here to give you a review on sleeping bag. So we just got back from 20 days. We did a road trip down from Canada to Joshua Tree, California. Spent some time down there. So Joshua Tree in December and January. That is the winter season, obviously. But we have these -20 sleeping bags that we got. They are the Rogue Expedition -20, -4 Fahrenheit rectangular sleeping bag. I wanted to give you a review on them because we spent a bunch of nights in them. So we have a Scout Yoho Camper. It has a diesel heater. We did turn the diesel heater on 3 times. We're still playing with condensation and with air and with what's a good temperature for us. But we found at night in the desert in Joshua Tree, with these sleeping bags, we were fine. We would turn the heat on for the dog though, because the dog obviously doesn't have a sleeping bag. It is laying in the bed with us. Stella sleeps with us. You know, to warm her, we put a sweater and she had her jammies on. We'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, Stella's cold. So we would put the heater on because we wanted to play with it when we thought it was really cold inside the camper. But for the nights that we didn't have the heater on, I mean, the sleeping bag definitely did the trick. So this is the sleeping bag, color scheme, the Rogue -20. This was purchased at cabellas.ca. It was its regular price is $159. This isn't sponsored by Cabela's, obviously. But I just wanted to give you the review on this sleeping bag. So for a non-mummy sleeping bag, I think it's very good. A lot of people have problems with mummy bags. I don't know. I have a problem with mummy bags sometimes. I do like to have a little bit more movement in my feet. I know Carrie also likes to have a little bit more movement in her feet and to be able to move around in the sleeping bag. I'm drinking my REV. I have this terrible habit of drinking pre-workout all throughout the day. I stopped drinking coffee with caffeine, but I drink the REV all day long because it's like this caffeine energy throughout the day. Very gradual. It's not like a huge spike. I don't ever take like 2 full ones and just go berserk. But that like half a scoop every day, and I just like mellow, but still alert. So I stopped drinking coffee, but I switched to REV and I drink it all day long. It was great on the road trip because all you need is water and boom, you've got your energy. For driving, it was pretty good, and for working out, it's supposed to be pretty good too. I'm gonna put the sleeping bag together so I can show you the size of the sleeping bag while you're in it and what it looks like. It's a long sleeping bag. It's got a good width. It's hot. I found if we had the heat on, it was too hot, and we didn't set the heat crazy high. We'd set it for about 18. The diesel heater pumps really dry. This really like nice dry air. It comes on and it heats to the temperature that you want when you have it to the thermostat, and then it cuts out. And with the thermostat, I find because you have the windows open and the air is circulating because you want to keep the condensation down to as low as possible, with the air and the windows open, it can get cold quick. So it takes a while for the thermostat to click in. I think it's the temperature drops because you feel the air and you were just warm, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's not warm. I'm gonna do up the Rogue -20 rectangular sleeping bag just to show you the size. Okay, so I've got it zipped up. That was relatively easy. As you saw, the zipper did get stuck there. It does have a tendency to get stuck on the inside when you're zipping it. I found that a little bit annoying when I was really hot and wanted to get out of the sleeping bag pretty quick. A bit challenging to get the zipper done from the outside and also even on the inside, especially on the inside. Relatively pretty easy. Okay, so Rogue -20 rectangular sleeping bag. It is long. This is the bottom going up. It's longer than me with my arms stretched out. Okay, so it's a very long sleeping bag. If you're a tall person, that would probably be excellent. So it's not a mummy bag, but it's a rectangular bag. As you can see, the insulation of the sleeping bag is pretty good. there's this inside cord that you can pull, basically seal. You could seal yourself in this, so it's not a mummy bag, but if you wanted to have it sealed off at the top, you can. You can pull this, seal it around your body. I didn't do that. I did do it just a little bit, because what I found is when you're in this bag, if it is cold, like say for the nights that we didn't have the heater on, all you really have to do is keep this thing zipped up. You're really warm, like really warm. When it's cold, which I guess this is meant for cold because it's this cold sleeping bag, I wouldn't want to sleep in this in -20. I wouldn't want to sleep only with, you know, a tent and this and it's -20. But when it is cold, and you know, it's cold enough that you can sleep just with the sleeping bag, not turn a heater on, or if you are camping and you don't have heat and it's cold, this thing will do well. So you like just seal yourself in this thing and it's like a cocoon. It's very warm. So I would wear a thermal lining to bed, so long johns that are synthetic long johns from Paradox, and then a synthetic wicking long sleeve shirt, just like the bottoms from Paradox. No, these are, yeah, I think these are Paradox. No, these aren't Paradox. These are 32 something from Costco. Not like light synthetic shirt. What I liked about the shirt is it didn't hold a lot of like bad smells in. We found that they didn't get smelly as fast. Synthetic shirt. So wore that to sleep inside the sleeping bag without the heat, no problem. The only issue I had was I thought my dog was cold, so I would open the sleeping bag and then put some of it on my dog, and then, you know, make sure that she was warm. But it did great. It's big enough to do that. It's warm enough to do that because the dog even got up and went away. You know, like it's hot. It's a hot sleeping bag. So if you are only getting one sleeping bag and you want it to serve all your purposes, I guess that kind of limits the amount of camping that you do and when you camp or where you live, etc. If it gets down to 5 degrees Celsius when you're camping at night, this bag, good. It wouldn't be too hot for that. You could probably go up a bit more. The hotter it got, the more I found I was like kicking my feet out and like wanting to move my body out of the sleeping bag. So I would kick my legs out but keep the top half over me to keep myself warm while I was sleeping. So that's okay, you know, like in a hotter environment. So I wouldn't want to use this in the summertime. Generally in the summertime, I don't want to have a sleeping bag on me. I just like, if it's so hot and I'm camping, I just want something on underneath me, and I wouldn't want that to be something that's going to create a lot of heat either. So I would say that you could have this spring, fall, and winter, and you would have no problems. It could serve you very, very well. And for $159, I think that that's awesome. It is a bit heavy. I don't know the exact weight. REV. So I weighed the sleeping bag. It weighs 5.8 pounds. So 5.8 pounds, you know, if you're backpacking, I guess this would be pretty heavy. But if you're in a truck camper and you got a bed up there anyway, 5.8 pounds is not bad. And I'm super stoked because I wouldn't need any other blankets than this. It would just be the mattress. This, I would be fine just on my own with just one of these in a lot of temperatures. If you do get two, this is a super huge bonus because I've had this problem before. When you have two different sleeping bags and you're with your person and you want to have both the bags together, these two will zip together. So unzip, zip it to the other bag, zip it up. You got this huge queen size bed. We call it the Pop-Tarts system. We have another Pop-Tart, but it's definitely not as cold as this. I'll do a review of that one too, camping bag. The two-person sleeping bag, the Pop-Tart is great because if you want to, you know, keep each other warm, that's an awesome system. On the scale of awesomeness, I would say that this gets, you know, good points for being warm. It's definitely super warm. It packs up into its bag relatively easy. I think that that's also kind of a thing that you have to think about when you buy sleeping bags. I mean, we have one that's just a pain in the butt to get into the bag. It's almost too big, it doesn't fit in the bag. and it's not as cold rated as this one. So I mean, this is a good pack. This was easy to do. Folds up real nice, gets to a decent size, and we're gonna pack that away in the camper. I would say it is hot. You can take that away if it gets really warm when you're camping, or it doesn't cool down at night. I wouldn't really want like this. I would
very tall sleeping bag, right?
Like with our portalages out in the Scout, it did the whole area, and that's a big benefit. So that's my review of the Rogue -20 rectangular sleeping bag from Cabella's. Like and subscribe, and we'll bring you more of this